Well, one of the most fundamental questions that I can ask or you can ask from me that is how does any computer or my computer or your computer run any program including a Python file or a browser or a Keynote application or another one. I want you to think about this question and pause this video and tell to yourself the answer. How does your computer run any program? How does a computer actually execute a piece of code? It's important. Before we start learning Python and writing programming, I want us to take one step back. We are going to give instructions to a machine, but how does this machine actually work? A computer is not an intelligent being. It does not truly understand anything. And it simply executes instructions. It's just see instructions and try to execute them. In the end, everything a computer does can be reduced to three simple steps: receiving data, what are named as input, processing them, and then or in the final step they produce some results which are known as output. And the brain of this system is a component that's called CPU, or central processing unit. We can think of the CPU as the brain of computer, okay? It's the brain of computer, but unlike the human brain, it does not think. We as a human can think, but CPU cannot think. It simply just can't execute very simple instruction at extremely high speed. It's important. They have good speed and they can execute them very fast. Well, every program you run, it's not important things something like for example a game or web browser is ultimately translated into a series of very simple instructions that CPU can understand them and can execute them. It's more important. It can execute them. So every program is translated to a simple or very simple instructions. So, what are the main components of the CPU? CPU is constructed from three main components. At first, it's arithmetic logic unit or ALU. ALU is responsible for calculation. What does it do? It do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and comparison. Comparison, it means greater or less than or equal or not equal to something. Okay, so it's the work of ALU and it's the task of ALU. Another part or another component of CPU is control unit. Control unit is can act like an executive manager. It's important. Its job is to read the next instruction from the memory, tell to the appropriate component to execute it, control the order in which the instructions are executed. In other words, it determines which instruction should be executed at each moment. Okay, and the third part is register. Registers are very small and the most fast kind of memory that are located inside the CPU itself. Okay, why are they important Do you have any idea about it? Do you know why registers are so important and are one of the most important parts of the CPU? I like you think about the answer of these questions before listening to the rest of the course. Well, the importance of registers are because the CPU cannot work directly with the data which are stored on the hard drive. Okay? And it also does not operate directly on RAM in most cases. Data must first be loaded into registers before it can be processed. Okay, so you can imagine a register as the working table of a chef. The things that Jeff will need to them should become onto this table, and ingredients come from the for example refrigerator can be considered as RAM, should become to table, and then processing happens. The famous CPU cycle, it's important to know about it. The famous CPU cycle is fetch, decode, execute. The CPU constantly performs a cycle known as fetch, decode, and execute, where fetch means the instruction bringing from the memory, decode, the CPU determine what the instruction means, and execute means the instruction is carried out. The cycle happens billion of times per second. So, okay, let me to stop it.